Good afternoon and welcome to our Midday Mull for Thursday the 23rd of July. In the midday devotions I've continued reading through Mark's Gospel and got to Mark chapter 5, a series of miracles that Jesus performs. And it reminded me years ago as a young Christian, somebody pointing out, Mark says they happened in this order. Matthew has a completely different order. If the apostles can't even remember when things happened, how can you trust them with anything? And as a young Christian, that was kind of unsettling and challenged me. But it was quite easily resolved, and one of the great explanation is given where somebody says it's like you are given a box of photographs from your grandmother. They just all randomly put into this box. What do you do with this collection of photographs? Well, I just put them back in the box and leave them where they were because that's the easiest way. But if you want to put them into an album, you can decide how to do it. And one person might decide to put them in chronological order, try and work out the dates of when they were taken and put them sequentially so that you have a timeline. Somebody else might take those same photographs and say, oh no, I want to put all the wedding photographs together. So we have all the weddings. And then we can put all the birthdays together. So we have all the birthday photographs together. Then we can put all the holiday photographs together as a collection. Which of the two is the right way of doing it? Well, they're both right. It just depends on what your intention is. And the explanation is that the gospel writers have all of these stories of what Jesus said and did, and they then arrange them according to their own agenda, or what it is they're trying to convey. And we need to remember that the current chronological, historical way of writing is a fairly recent development. And certainly 2 millennia ago, people weren't nearly as bound by that convention as we are today. And so as you look at what Mark's got here, he starts off at the end of chapter 4 with the story of Jesus calming the storm. And the disciples end up saying, who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him. And then Jesus crosses over the lake and meets this demoniac. And he engages with him. And they say, it's a legion of demons. And he gives permission for them to go into the pigs. And they rush down the mountain. And the townsfolk come out. And they see this man completely well. And they say, the panic, Jesus, please leave. And we're told the man wanted to go with Jesus, and Jesus says, no, go and tell people what I've done for you. And we're told, so the man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him. And all the people were amazed. Mark then says Jesus crossed back into the Jewish side of the lake, and Jairus comes to him, a synagogue leader, and says, please come, my daughter's sick, come and lay your hands on her and heal her. And on the way, this woman touches Jesus' cloak, and she says, if I can touch him, this suffering of 12 years of hemorrhaging will be healed. And she is. And Jesus stops and engages with her. And then the message comes to Jairus, your daughter's dead. And Jesus says, don't worry about it. Keep your faith. And they go on. And he comes to the little girl, and we're told he took her by the hand and said to her, Talita cum, which means, little girl, I say to you, get up. Immediately the girl stood up and began to walk around. And it's almost as though Mark here is saying Jesus is powerful. He has power over everything. He has power over the natural elements. He has power over the wind and the waves. He has power over demons. He has power in the spiritual realm. He has power over disease and sickness and any kind of ritual impurities that there are. He even has power over death. And we can hold on to that. Whether it happened in that exact order or not is of no consequence. The fact is that that's what happened, and Mark puts them together to make his point. And we need to remember that they must be reliable, because if Jesus didn't raise that little girl from the dead, when Mark wrote the gospel, many of her family and friends would still have been around. And they would have stopped and said, hold on a minute, Jairus' daughter, the story Mark's got, that didn't happen, and she died and we buried her. And that would have sunk Mark's gospel completely. So the historical veracity of each of the individual stories is probably strong, solid. The order is irrelevant. The message is worth holding on to. And so as we read the Gospels, when we have problems and questions, it's worth engaging with, thinking it through, talking about it, because inevitably, I've always found that they're good, solid answers and explanations. And what it does is it leaves us with scripture that is solid, that we can trust, that we can rely on. And that's our hope. So hold on to that and be blessed.